school football fans, get ready for the one and only prep and gridiron talk show in Michigan. It's time for the State Champs Scoreboard, presented to you by Lawrence Technological University.
And he's going to fire deep.
Give us a call at 248-539-9797 and sound off on anything high school football.
Showtime. 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 Showtime.
Watch the live stream now on the State Champs Network Facebook page, celebrating 8 years on the radio, talking only Michigan high school football. Now airing throughout the state of Michigan, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
Let's play ball, boys. Let's go.
Well, I'll tell you what's up, Michigan? Welcome to another episode of the only statewide high school football show on the radio, the State Champs Scoreboard. We've got 90 minutes of football fun ahead. I know there are many teams celebrating out there. If you've got 6 wins, you've punched your ticket to the postseason. 248-539-9797 is the phone number. We welcome all of you to watch the show on Facebook Live. Feel free to comment. We'll try to talk about the conversation taking place there periodically throughout the show. I do want to give a shout out to our boy Kyle Bogey, who was just on before this with the Pistons Network. He will be filling in for me next week, and we'll have a special time. We'll run from 9 to 10:10 next week, so games will still be going on while the scoreboard will be on. Kyle will kind of be the pilot for that particular show. We appreciate him doing that. Of course, goes way back with the State Champs family. Got to start there. Happy to say that.
Like many.
Yes, like many, absolutely.
Where Hogan Spook got to start.
That's right, exactly. That's an inside joke. But again, Tom Markowski not here tonight. Will join us via phone a little later. Alan True will call in with this week's recruit report. We'll give you an update in our Hungry Howie State Champs Mr. Football race as well. We have a new entrant. We'll also talk Lawrence Tech football at 12:30. LTU is providing an opportunity for a lot of you out there to continue your football career. Play NAIA competition at Lawrence Tech. The first season in 70 years begins fall 2018. Roster spots open now. Check it out at LTUathletics.com. Tonight we'll talk with head coach Jeff Duvendek about his favorite college and pro teams. So that'll be interesting. 12 radio stations across the state carry the show live or pick it up via the MHSAA network. The show is streaming live right now at MHSAAnetwork.com. Thanks for carrying the scoreboard. You can also pick it up via the 97.1 app, which is radio.com or the radio.com app, and you'll be able to listen to the show there. This show wouldn't be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Lawrence Technological University, Possible is Everything, Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser, simply the best fundraising program. Check it out at doughRaiser.com. Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value of educational athletics. Go to MHSAA.com. Michigan Student Aid, Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Log on to michigan.gov/MI Student Aid. And also the Michigan National Guard, proud partner and official military branch of the MHSAA. We commend each one of those institutions for their commitment to high school football. Got a great team helping us out every week. Scott Bernstein, Jeff Dulock, Danny Rogers tonight. We give you scores throughout the show. The first batch coming up shortly. First off, what's up, Scott?
Hey, I'm excited that we're here early. We're a little bipolar as a show.
I'm a little more awake, yes.
We were really late last week, and this week we're coming in a little early and giving everyone
really early.
So we can actually get people that are leaving games, getting in their cars, and talking what happened tonight.
Absolutely. And where were you?
Me and Jeff Dulac were both at Farmington Hills Harrison. I guess you could say they pulled a mini upset. They beat Oak Park 17-14. Oak Park had been red hot coming into this game, and in the midst of it, Coach Harrington, John Harrington, the Legends legend, just tied another Legends legend, Al Fracassa, for most wins in the history of the MHSA in the football coaching ranks at 430. I believe his career record right now is 430-125. He's got a ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm getting. I'm getting some coaching from behind the wall over there.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right, Roberto.
I'm not exactly sure what he's saying.
Yeah,
I know that
Roberto's always one of those guys that's just causing problems.
So so Coach Harrington got that win, and he'll be going for the all-time record next week against Berkeley, who's 1-6.
Okay, right on. Jeff Dulac, how are you, bud?
Yep, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What was your quick take on the game tonight? And a big one between Harrison and, of course, got it all settled out now. Oh, it's for the cameras.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
My pretty mug needs
exactly.
needs
You're
to be
standing
blasted
right
out by the
right.
Facebook
No, Harrison
Live.
and Oak Park went out tonight, which was a big one.
Yeah, I came away pretty impressed with the Harrison defense. They had 3 takeaways in the second half to really preserve that game because the Oak Park defense played almost as well.
Oak Park had spun 4 shutouts in the first 6 weeks of the year.
Yep, and you just look at you could really feel on the sidelines of that game that Harrison, the players wanted this for their coach. They didn't want to wait any longer. They wanted to get that 430th win, and the belief on that sideline is that this probably clinched a playoff spot for Harrison. They probably will get that 6th win, but they don't necessarily need it.
Right, so they'll have Berkeley next week,
Yep.
Yeah,
and then they'll have a crossover, which is most likely going to be who do you think?
Well, right now we're in a 3-way tie at the top of the OA White between Oak Park, Groves, and Harrison.
Right.
So
we thought maybe West Bloomfield at the beginning, but we don't know if that's going to be the case.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out in the next couple of weeks.
It's always cool that they do that in the OAE. They have these crossovers in Week 9, kind of get you ready for the playoffs, no matter who you are.
Ovia Gofu, the Notre Dame linebacker commit for Harrison. He looked good on offense today, as he's been most of the year so far.
Mr. Football candidate.
Coming out of the stretching the field as a tight end, he had about 75 yards, receiving 3 big catches.
They made some big tackles defensively to kind of preserve that win.
Interceptions by linebacker Jarin Harvey deep in Oak Park territory, deep in Harrison territory, prevented Nick Cotton's touchdown was deep in Harrison's own territory, and Harvey's interception a couple possessions before there set up what turned out to be the game-clinching touchdown the game-clinching field goal for Harrison.
All right, well, there you go. So
I was also at Cass Tech in Mumford tonight.
Oh, yeah, you went and checked that out first.
It was kind of a surprising game. Going into the fourth quarter, Cass Tech was only up 14-6. They ended up winning 28-6. But I kind of think that was kind of a numbers game. I think Mumford started getting worn down. I came away really impressed with the Cass Tech defense. Offensively, they still have some things to figure out. Their running game is strong. I like Aaron Jackson at quarterback, but they're not quite the world beaters they were last year.
Look, and Central was hanging with King until the second half.
Central was up 22-6 at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. All right, Danny's itching to get to the scores here, so just hang on for a sec. But first, it's time for the Twitter poll question of the night. All right, here we go. This is a good one. What team, which has not won a football state championship in school history, has the best chance to win a title this fall? Is it going to be Utica Eisenhower? Is it going to be Oak Park? Is it going to be Traverse City West? Or will it be Saline?
I kind of lean towards...
I like Ike.
I do too, I'm not in charge of Tom Markowski's rankings, but after seeing Cass Tech tonight, and I've seen Eisenhower earlier this year, Eisenhower might be that number 1 team in Division I.
All right, so that's the question. What team is not who has not won a football state championship in their school history has the best chance to win a title this fall? Utica, Eisenhower, Oak Park, Traverse City West, or Saline. You can vote on our Twitter page at StateChampsNet right now. You can do it throughout the show, and we'll kind of give you the results at the end of this show. We've got scores from West Michigan plus Northern Michigan and an 8-player scores at 10:15, Mid-Michigan at 11, and the Lansing and lower western parts of the state at 11:20. But right now, we welcome in Danny Rogers, who gets us started with scores from the 9-county metro area of Southeast Michigan in Week 7 of the high school football season.
In the Catholic High School League, Stevensville Lakeshore still undefeated, beating Birmingham Brother Rice 24-20. Erie Cathedral Prep moves to 7-0 after beating Warren De La Salle 33-23. Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood gets the win over Macomb Lutheran North 49-27. Clarkston Everest Collegiate now 6-1, beating Waterford Our Lady 23-13. In the Charter School Conference, Warren Michigan Collegiate hands it to Romulus Summit Academy North 57-8. In the Detroit Public School League, Detroit Denby beats Detroit Renaissance 22-12. Detroit Martin Luther King over Detroit Central 46-34. Detroit Cass Tech moves to 5-1 after beating Detroit Mumford 28-6. Detroit Cody gets their 4th win on the season. They beat Detroit Henry Ford 14-0. Detroit Delta Prep slides past Detroit Southeastern 20-14. And in the Downriver League, Wyandotte Roosevelt easily moves past Southgate Anderson 45-6. And in the Huron League, Riverview blanks New Boston Huron 20-0. And Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central now 4-3 beats Carlton Airport 36-6.
All right, we don't have all the scores right now, but we've got some more for you. Here in the Southeastern Conference, it was Saline over Ann Arbor Pioneer 35-7. They're 6-1 in the playoffs. It was Bedford over Monroe 38-21. They are 6-1 and in the playoffs. It was Pinckney now with a 6-1 record, beating Adrian 42-14. It was Chelsea over Ypsilanti 14-7. It was Ypsilanti Lincoln over Auburn Hills Avondale 35-14. In the KLAA, Livonia Stevenson 21-13 winners over Heartland. It was Livonia Churchill beating Grand Blanc. Grand Blanc suffers their first loss of the season. Churchill now 6-1. They win that game 14-7. Livonia Franklin over Plymouth 10-7. They're 5-2 on the year now. In the Lenawee County Athletic Association, Ida blanks Hudson 16-zip. In the OAA, it was Rochester Adams over Clarkston 21-14. Adams now 6-1 and in the playoffs. And the other score we have for you right now in the OAA, Southfield loses to Bloomfield Hills.
That's another statement game by Bloomfield Hills.
By a digit, 23-22.
They stopped the last drive. They stepped up. Bloomfield Hills stymied a last drive by Southfield and tipped a pass away in the end zone to win the game.
And Southfield was up early in that game by about 2 scores.
All right, if you're looking to get all the scores from not just football, but most sports, go to MHSAA.com or you can download the app. Quickly now, as we get set to go to break, State Champs Extra Point airs tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. We'll have highlights of these games. Warren Mott at Romeo, Hudsonville at Caledonia, Chelsea at Ypsilanti, Redford Union at Redford Thurston. That was a good one. Warren Fitzgerald at Madison Heights Madison, Clarkston Everett at Waterford Our Lady of the Lakes, Rockford at Holland West Ottawa, Muskegon Oak Ridge at Montague, DeWitt at Hazlitt, Rogers City at Whittemore Prescott, Hillman at Oscoda. Plus, we'll have highlights from 2 MHSAA student broadcast productions, Sanford Meridian at Clare and Manistee and Negaunee. Watch it all on State Champs Extra Point tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Scores from West Michigan along with Northern Michigan and 8-player football next. State Champs Scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Lawrence Technological University graduates earn a degree and a higher starting salary. In fact, when it comes to earning potential, the Brookings Institution ranks LTU 5th among U.S. colleges and universities. Be enriched. Be more. At LTU, possible is everything.
Explore your possibilities on a Lawrence Tech campus tour. Choose a blue and white day program on select Fridays or a convenient daily tour offered Mondays through Thursdays. Reserve your spot at ltu.edu.
Hello, my lady. I ordered 2 large Howie Mauis with butter cheese crust.
Wow, you are one serious breast cancer awareness supporter.
Warrior for love, hope, and pizza. Can't seem to reach my wallet.
Flavor fanatics love us because for every pizza purchased in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Welcome to Be the Referee with MHSAA Assistant Director Mark Ewell. Some of the most misunderstood high school football rules revolve around the kicking game. At the high school level, on both kickoffs and punts, the rules are unique to what's seen at both the college and pro levels. When a kick breaks the plane of the goal line, does not matter if it's a punt or a kickoff, when that ball breaks the plane, the ball is dead under high school rules, and it results in an automatic touchback. And an even more unique set of rules deal with field goals. Under high school rules, whenever there's a missed field goal, it's treated just like a punt. So that long field goal that comes up well short and goes out of bounds at the 2-yard line means the other team gets the ball, 1st and 10 at the 2. Thanks, Mark. You can be a referee. Go online now to sign up at MHSAA.com. Be the Referee is a production of the MHSAA Network.
Today I want to tell you about something exciting we are doing at the MHSAA with our Check-in Champ app, powered by My Student Aid. This free mobile app encourages fans to check in while they're at their favorite school's football games this fall. When you check in, you earn points, and at the end of the football season, one lucky fan who earns the most points will win a $2,000 scholarship. Be sure to check in on your social media to earn bonus points. That's not all. There are an additional $2,000 in scholarships available. Schools are divided on the leaderboard by classes A, B, C, and D, and the fans who earn the most points in each of those classes will receive a $500 scholarship. New this year is a weekly winner chosen randomly by all of the check-ins from that week. That fan will win a $50 gift card. Also new this year is a school leaderboard. At the end of the football season, the school who accrues the most points will win $2,000 for their athletic department to use however they choose. Getting started is easy. First, you'll download the app. Again, it's free. From the iTunes App Store, search MHSAA. If you have an Android device, search Battle of the Fans Check-In Champ. Once you have downloaded the app, it's important that you set up your account to choose your favorite school. If you have not selected a school, there will not be any games that display in your events module on the app. For more information on the Check-In Champ app or our contest, visit the MHSAA website.
Get your weekend started off right. Catch the only sports TV show fully dedicated to statewide high school football coverage. State Champs Extra Point has all the action, highlights, dramatic plays, and goal line stands.
We talk hard.
97.1 The Ticket. Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Give us a call at 248-539-9797 to talk to us about high school football. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. A little early tonight. We're only going till 11:30. Normally start at 10:30, but we're going 10 to 11:30 tonight due to the Pistons preseason games that generally run a little short. I do want to give a shout out to you guys on Facebook Live if you're watching it right now, and the comments that are going on there, and you guys are having a good conversation. Now you're getting scores out there. Congratulations to Marine City, who clinched the MAC Gold Championship tonight, and a big win for Chip Valley too, and Scott Bala, I think your name is. So thanks for reaching in. Brighton beat Westland John Glenn tonight, 27. So anyway, just recognizing you guys on Facebook Live, and we'll get to you. Hey, State Champs High School Sports Show is the 5-time Emmy-winning original all-sports high school sports show. It airs every Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. Here are the highlights you can watch this week. In boys soccer, the Battle of Muskegon between Mona Shores and Reeths Puffer. Plus, our main event is going to feature Division I second and third-ranked teams in the state in boys soccer. So that is Troy Athens visiting Rochester Adams. We've got a Detroit PSL cross-country meet, volleyball between longtime rivals Birmingham Marion and Farmington Hills Mercy. We'll have a girls swimming showdown with Grand Haven and Hudsonville, one of the best swimmers in the state. Currently on Hudsonville, we'll have coverage of the first state finals of the season, boys tennis from the UP. Can you believe it? Watch the highlights of that, plus all the others I mentioned on State Champs, the original high school sports show, Sunday, 9 a.m., Fox Sports Detroit and Fox College Sports Atlantic. Let's go to Danny now for more scores.
With all the ones we have so far, in the North, you have the Big North. No, I'm sorry. In the Highland Conference, we have Lake City handing it to Evart 56-14. In the Jack Pine Conference, Clare over Sanford Meridian Early College 68-46. And then you have Harrison beating Houghton Lake 24-22. In the Mid-Peninsula Athletic Conference, you have Gladstone losing to Escanaba. Escanaba wins 35-14. Then you have Hancock handing it to Gwen 56-32. And the Northern Michigan Football Conference, Traverse City St. Francis blanks Sheboygan 42-0. Elk Rapids gets the win over Grayling 23-8. And in the 8 players, some of the scores that we do have that have come in so far, you have Deckerville beating Flint International Academy 56-36. Central Lake over Atlanta 58-30. And this is Engadine over Cedarville 30-26. And then moving over to the West in the OK Conference, you have Jenison blanking Fruitport 28-0. Grand Rapids Catholic Central over Comstock Park 57-50. Grand Rapids South Christian beating Wyoming 26-18. East Grand Rapids moving to 7-0 on the season, beating Wayland Union 40-14. Holland hands it to Byron Center 16-14. Then you have Zeeland East over Hudson Unity Christian 50-14. Holland West Ottawa gets the win over Rockford 35-0. Wyoming Kelloggsville moves to 7-0 after beating Grand Rapids North Point Christian 36-21. Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central gets the win over Lowell 21-6. And in the West Michigan Conference, you have Montauk over Muskegon Oak Ridge, 33-0.
Just a quick correction, Montague.
Yep.
Montague.
That's right. They were once state champions.
They were a power for the better part of a good decade.
That's
there.
right. Who was their quarterback? They had a bad boy.
That you're putting me on the spot.
I know. Man, I can't remember. It was several years ago. But, all right, hey, if you're looking to get all the scores from not just football, but most sports, go to MHSAA.com, or you can download the app. So got a few minutes here, boys, before we get to the break. Our website, StateChampsNetwork.com, is your go-to resource for great Michigan high school sports coverage. Right now, Scott, what are you working on?
Well, over at StateChampsNetwork.com at my Bernie's Bites blog, you can take a look at the most recent big-time college basketball commit. Ann Arbor Skyline's Brandon Wade committed to Duquesne this past couple days. And you can go on there and you can read about Juju Jordan, L. Julian Jordan, the quarterback at Detroit Central, who everyone calls, or everyone in the Central program calls Juju, because he casts a spell on those opposing secondaries.
Right, former King quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know what he had today, but he didn't he had no picks.
King was losing, right? Did they win?
King was down 22-6 late in the first half. King ended up winning, I believe, 35-34. So here's a bold prediction for you guys. That loss for Detroit Central tells me a lot more than any other win that I think happened tonight. I think Detroit Central is going to win a state title this year. That's my bold
and their
prediction.
Division
They're 5? I believe 5. It kind of varies. They're going to probably be 5 or 6, but I would guess 5.
I believe they lost to Frankenmuth last year, who was really good. And we did a little beating the odds segment on them on State Champs.
Coming into this game tonight or today, L. Julian only had 22 touchdowns against 0 interceptions and was completing passes at about a 75% clip. And then also you can go on by the end of the weekend. I'm going to do a tribute to John Harrington and the Harrison football legacy, and I'm going to do Bernie's top 10 Harrison football players of all time.
Wow,
I'm going to rank them. I'm going to rank them.
All right,
you're going to put yourself on the spot there.
Very controversial.
Yeah. Yep. Might have a couple. There might be a couple ties with brothers.
There's a good one.
That's true.
There's a good one playing in town this weekend on Sunday.
Yes,
Devin Funchess.
Yes, the Funchess.
That's right. So he's definitely in town. In fact, I think this is a little disclosure. We're actually interviewing him tomorrow for a special that may happen very soon. I'm not going to jinx it, but does have something to do with Harrison High School, Farmington Hills Harrison High School. And for those who were just tuning in and wondering, today John Harrington tied the all-time wins record. So he ties Al Fracassa, and that was 430
against 125 losses.
Against 125.
He's got a ridiculous win percentage. It's like close to 80%.
12 state championships.
13.
Oh, 13. They're the most. DeBoer's has 12. They have 13.
So his state title in 2010 gave him and Harrison the record for most in a program and most by a coach.
And if you're looking for the video of the celebration of Coach Harrington celebrating that win, go to our Twitter page, State Champs Net. We've got a video up there, and then we'll also have it on our Facebook tonight.
You can see how much getting this victory meant for those players. I mean, they were rolling around on the ground and pumping their fists like they had just either clinched a playoff or won a district or won a regional, when it got their coach to the mountaintop.
Right. So they will take on Berkeley next week at home, where he could break the record. I'm sure that's going to be well attended, as well as our cameras will be there, of course. So good on Coach Harrington. Good for him.
I think Devin's an example of, obviously he's had a lot of talent walk through those doors. And, that's no hit on a coach. Sometimes people like to hit coaches because they've coached great talent. Phil Jackson, he won 10 championships, but he had Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, yada, yada, yada. But I think Devin's a really good example for Coach Harrington as how he cultivated talent.
Right.
Devin walked in there as a basketball player. Devin didn't realize he's one of these kids who didn't realize his future was on the football field until his junior year, where that coaching staff turned him into a future NFL tight end.
The dream team year, undefeated. 2010.
Just a quick update. Coach Riddle from Detroit Central just told us Detroit Central is Division 6 this year.
Oh, all right.
They might have to go through a team like Ithaca to get that state title, but I'm going to stick with that prediction.
Right. Now, Ithaca last year was Division 5.
Yep. Ithaca should be back down Division 6.
Okay, it's always it's always one of those things that I believe this year, because of the number of 8-player teams and how that tournament shakes out, that it should fall more into normalcy in terms of where teams usually land in divisions. So, because we're always debating, like, is Muskegon going to be 2 or are they going to be 3? But it looks like they will be 3.
Yeah, it looks
I believe
like a pretty solid bet.
Anything else happening at the website right now?
On the website right now, Tom Markowski has a story up on the website about Carson Tepfler,
yes.
I believe is his name.
Yes.
Passes along an update. He's got a rare blood disorder. He's a football player and lacrosse player from UD Jesuit. He's scheduled to get a bone marrow transplant. Tom wrote the story about a year ago now on, the battle that he's gone through. He's doing better. And he's looking on the bright side right now and really optimistic about the near future for himself.
All right. So, of course, hundreds of hours of video is on the website, too. Mm-hmm. Vote for the Mr. Football Award. In fact, that's what we are discussing next. The 2017 State Champs Mr. Football race presented by Hungry Howie's. We're going to discuss the newest entry into the race and debate the voting numbers. We'll check and see how the voting is doing. So stay with us. More of the Scoreboard on 97.1 The Ticket, the MHSAA Network, and Facebook Live next.
A recent survey about concussions found that while most high school coaches have stopped using phrases like, "you just got your bell rung," and changed their attitudes about players toughing it out through injuries, most parents have not. Nothing in school sports is more important than the welfare of the participants. Not playing time, scoring points, setting records, or winning games. Learn more about concussions at the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's, Dough Raiser. Your team or school can sell paper pizza certificates that can be redeemed for one medium pizza at participating locations.
Hungry Howie's makes it easy. It's just a little mini pizza box, and we make lots of money, lots of dough.
Go to doughraiser.com to learn more and sign up. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Today in our final segment of our three-part series on rule changes for the 2017 season, we're going to look at 3 different items. On passing plays, pass interference will no longer be called when the defender is simply face guarding the receiver with no contact. The old rule of face guarding with no contact was a tough judgment call for officials. The new rule, which now requires contact for pass interference, will give us more consistency. Also, in the final 2 minutes of a half, the team accepting a penalty will now have the option of restarting the game clock with the snap of the ball rather than the referee's ready for play signal. This change eliminates the team that is ahead in the score from possibly fouling intentionally to chew up extra time on the game clock. And this is the second year of an experiment in Michigan with a 40-second play clock, which starts shortly after a play is over, replacing the 25-second play clock, which was always started by the referee marking the ball ready for play. The 40-second play clock gives more consistency from week to week, as it no longer depends on who the referee is. If you want to learn more about game rules or become a referee, go to our website. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Get your weekend started off right. Catch the only sports TV show fully dedicated to statewide high school football coverage. State Champs Extra Point has all the action, highlights, dramatic plays, and goal line stands from as many as 15 games per week. recruiting news with Scout.com's Alan True, and a weekly update on the most coveted award in the state, Mr. Football.
Detroit's official tailgate party. Brought to you by Superior Buick GMC, Miller Lite, Tubby's Sub Shops, Specs Howard School of Media Arts, Priority Health, and Kowalski.
The station where you call the shots. Most of the time.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Give us a call at 248-539-9797 to talk to us about high school football. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Normally, we're starting at this time, so if you're just joining us right now, well, you've missed the first half hour of the program. But we're here for another hour, so make sure you're here each and every week. We try to get out on the social media when we're going to start early. Just happened to be some early finishing to the Pistons preseason game tonight, so that is why we are on when we're on. But we're here. If you want to call in, talk high school football, you could do that. 248-539-9797 is the phone number. Right now, we want to talk about the Hungry Howie's Mr. Football race. So those watching on Facebook Live will see that I have the trophy here in front of me, or a replica of it. This is the 10th anniversary, and so the question is, who is going to be taking that bad boy home this year and being considered the top football player in the state? This has been a heck of a race this year. We have a number of good candidates. It's definitely the year of the quarterback, and I think we can honestly say that
there's no clear-cut guy that we're saying this is going to be the definite winner.
Right. And while some guys may have great weeks in the next week, maybe they're not so great, there have been some real consistent players. And again, you got to factor a level of competition to that as well. But this week we really felt that we had just had to do it. We had to put Bryce Veasley in because of the way he's played.
He's putting up gaudy numbers. He's doing it against good competition. And he, in the process, I hate to say this if you're a Bowling Green fan, because that's where he's committed, but he's significantly raising his recruiting stock. And I find it more likely than unlikely that he will not be signing with Bowling Green come signing day, that he'll get a bigger offer and most likely jump up to possibly the Big Ten.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's about 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230. He was over about 250 last year. We've talked about it, I believe, on this show as well as on the podcast. Trimmed some of that baby fat, went on a workout regimen this past offseason, and just looks physically outstanding, is playing great football, is playing intelligent football, and has become more versatile getting out of the pocket, not just a lead-footed drop-back passer. Now you got to worry about him carrying the pile, because he's that bigger. He's that Cam Newton size, kind of built like a tight end. He's not easy to bring down when he gets out of the pocket.
Right. He's a guy I got a chance to see against Walled Lake Western. He struggled a little bit, was off the mark.
That was week one.
In week one. Throughout that game, though, he's been on fire ever since. I thought he played well against Bloomfield Hills, even though they lost in that second game. But what's really impressive is we talk about big game performance, and against the big teams, some of the best teams of the OAA, he's coming out and playing really well. That Clarkston game, he put on a show. And I think with this year's contest being wide open, there's a lot of times where we wonder if a new guy into a top 10 has a legitimate shot of winning. Two guys that are new to this contest, or at least weren't in there at the beginning of the year, Ovio Gufo and Bryce Veasley, I think they have as much of a chance to win this contest as anybody.
Mm-hmm. And that speaks to the margin of that's in between these candidates. It's very slim, very slim.
Just against Oxford last week, he was 16 to 23 passing, 312 yards, threw one through the air, had 10 carries, 50 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. He's very good in the red zone, getting there. He had nearly 2,000 yards and 12 TDs. His completion percentage 65% going into this week, so. Basically what happens, we run this kind of like the Heisman Trophy race. So basically what that means is guys are going to fall in and out of the top 10. Bottom line is those with the most votes that person with the most votes can never be removed no matter how they're playing. And, so David Cruz has kind of fallen off the list, gone back into our watch list for right now. If you want to vote for your candidate, for one of the top 10 candidates, you go to statechampsnetwork.com, just click on the Mr. Football banner, and you vote there. It's the only major award in the state where we give you, the fans, a chance to participate in choosing who is the next Mr. Football. Now,
they get input, and it counts into how we tabulate the results.
20%.
And we hear from you guys. And we hear from
we hear from you guys.
From the and I'll say it, we hear from the McCollum faithful. There are those in his camp, and that is
the Waterford
good.
Mott quarterback. I'll throw you some stats for tonight.
Yep, that is good though. I mean, it's impressive that you guys want to participate in this, and whether we take it as passion, not anger. They want their guy in, and if he keeps playing the way he does, there's a chance. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple things before we get to the votes here, because we got to take a break here in a second. But number one is that we during this competition, we're going to take it through week 9 before we freeze our top 10.
Yep.
So there's still a couple weeks for somebody to get in. Who's leading the vote right now?
Right now, it is Utica Eisenhower's Max Whitwer. He's got 11,262 votes. Just to put that comparatively to last year, the winner of the fan vote last year had 8,500 votes. So the Utica, Eisenhower, the Macomb County faithful are really out there voting for Max. Right behind him, closing in on 4,000 votes, is Tariq Reed from Davison. We also have a couple other guys with more than 1,000 votes. Jalen Franklin from Carlson, 2,100. Josh Zarnata, 1,300. And Ovio Gufo, who's only been in for a couple of weeks, he's right over 1,200 votes.
All right, so...
Let me throw you McCollum real quick?
Yeah, real quick.
They won 35-7 tonight over South Lyon. He only played in the first half where they were up 35-0, 11 of 16 for 255 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, 4 rushes for 40 touchdowns, and 1 touchdown on the ground.
You said 40 touchdowns. Four touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
4 on the ground.
I apologize.
It's very impressive. Good job to Mott and to McCollum. Okay, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back after the timeout, we're going to speak with Scout.com's Alan Schubert. Right now, it's time for This Week in High School Sports.
Lay leads Mustangs, athletic empty nesters, and more slime to be found. It's all next on This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Hi again, everyone. I'm John Johnson, and welcome to This Week in High School Sports. Portage Central's boys soccer team starts the week with aspirations of a Southwest Michigan Athletic Conference regular season title, the top seed in the league tournament that comes with it, and a top 5 ranking in the statewide coaches polls in Division I. Along the way, the Mustangs have knocked off top-ranked East Kentwood and ended a 3-year drought against crosstown rival Portage Northern. A core group of 17 players returning from last year's team is led by senior striker Min Lay, who had 2 goals in the win against Northern.
We take advantage of the field because ours is like one of the widest in the state. So we usually play wide, and we take advantage of that because a lot of teams can't. So it's just all about good luck.
You can read more about Min Lay and Portage Central Soccer on the second half page of the MHSAA website. Our Sparrow Health game balls this week go out to the girls' tennis teams at Negaunee and Ishpeming Westwood, which captured top honors last week in the MHSAA Upper Peninsula Finals, and to Hunter Nowak and Austin Eddington of Morris, who connected on both a touchdown and a 2-point conversion with 20 seconds to play last Friday as the Orioles stayed perfect in 8-player football, upsetting number 2 Deckerville 33-32. Prime your body with a pre-exercise snack. If it's been more than 3 hours since your last meal, having a pre-exercise snack will likely help you have a better workout. Make it something small that's easy to digest. A tip from Sparrow, the official health system of the MHSAA. Back with more in a moment. You're listening to This Week in High School Sports.
Do you need money for college? Michigan Student Aid is Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. They administer scholarships, grants, college savings programs, and other resources that help make college accessible, affordable, and achievable for you. See how they can help you today by visiting michigan.gov/mystudentaid and connect with Michigan Student Aid on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with Mark Ewell.
The recruitment of new officials is an ongoing task for the MHSAA. Over the years, most recruiting efforts have sought to target young people, finding those graduating senior student athletes, or pursuing those college students who are looking for a way to make some extra cash while in college in becoming a sports official. One group, however, that we're continuing to recruit are what we call the athletic empty nesters. It's those moms and dads who have been following their kids as they've played their own high school sports. Once the kids have finished their time on the team, we'd like to get those moms and dads to become part of our team, to become an official. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Thanks, Mark. You can be a referee. Visit the MHSCA website now to register. Now, it came as no surprise to me that college basketball's longtime shoe scandal finally had the hammer brought down on it last week by the only group which could bring such pressure to bear, the Department of Justice. And if there's something smaller than the tip of the proverbial iceberg, well, folks, this is it, because you ain't seen nothing yet. The slime was rampant during my days in college athletics in the 70s and the 80s. My only concern going forward is as we find out more about how it has permeated youth basketball and high school basketball, where there are non-school power and player brokers galore on whom college coaches have come to depend on as pipelines for their programs instead of high school coaches, and who have painted delusional pictures of dollars and glory for young players and their parents. The feds made the big score last week because they had the power to pull it off, and the colleges couldn't or wouldn't police themselves. It will take a lot of work to dig deeper, but dig they must, because I guarantee there's even more slime to be found. A wonderful end game here would be the total elimination of the high-power youth club programs, the closing of the summertime college recruiting window, high school programs returning as the influential force they once were, and some sanity being brought back to a sport gone insane. Join us again next time for another edition of This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And build strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders. And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
As a Lawrence Technological University graduate, you're not only marketable, you're worth more. Yes, more. According to Payscale.com, when it comes to graduate salaries, LTU is in America's top 100. Be invaluable. Be more. At LTU, possible is everything.
Explore your possibilities on a Lawrence Tech campus tour. Choose a blue and white day program on select Fridays or a convenient daily tour offered Mondays through Thursdays. Reserve your spot at ltu.edu.
Welcome to our second of a three-part series on new rule changes for the 2017 season. One of the most exciting plays in football is the onside kick, which has turned the tide around in many games. In the interest of safety, national high school rules this year have eliminated the onside kick where the ball is kicked with great force off the tee into the ground, generating a pop-up ball which creates a dangerous recovery situation. This kind of pop-up kick will immediately be blown dead by the officials, and a 5-yard penalty will be assessed to the kicking team. Onside kicks that are dribbled along the ground hitting at least twice are still legal by rule. And the kicker can still pooch kick the ball straight up into the air off the tee. But the pop-up kick, which hits the ground first and bounces only once, is no longer a playable ball. Next week, we'll talk about some of the other rule changes for the 2017 season. To be a referee, go to our website. Where there's help wanted, just whistle.
Your home for high school sports is Michigan's original high school sports show, State Champs. For over a decade, the multiple Emmy Award-winning State Champs covers all sports statewide, 40 weeks a year. Catch State Champs Sundays at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and StateChampsNetwork.com.
The Michigan Army National Guard is looking for high school juniors and seniors to help serve their community, state, and country. Guard members train as little as 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer. Guard members can receive benefits to attend college full-time, covering the cost of tuition, books, and fees at most Michigan colleges and universities, in addition to great monthly pay. Find out more. Visit myarmyguard.com. That's myarmyguard.com. The Michigan Army National Guard is a proud supporter of the MHSAA.
It's my student aid. Okay, let's go. Time to go to college. How can I get started? Want to gain more knowledge, but I can't pay out of pocket. Call my student aid today and we can get you on the way. If you really want it, all you gotta do is make a way. Looking for a scholarship, you trying to land some grants? Visit my student aid and we can help with that. My student aid has the knowledge and tools to make college accessible, affordable for you.
State Champs Extra Point has all the action, highlights, dramatic plays, and goal line stands from as many as 15 games per week. Recruiting news with Scout.com's Alan True, and a weekly update on the most coveted award in the state, Mr. Football.
Working hard just like you. 97.1
Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Give us a call at 248-539-9797 to talk to us about high school football. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
All right, little white zombie for your Friday night to get things going. Time now for the Michigan Student Aid Recruit Report here on the State Champs Scoreboard. Michigan Student Aid is Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Log on to michigan.gov/MI Student Aid. All right, time to bring in Alan True on the phone, and you can follow Alan on Twitter at Alan True, TRIU. What's up, Alan?
Hey, guys, not too much.
Did you check out a game tonight?
I did not. A little under the weather, so I decided to sit this one out, and we'll be back out there next week.
Just monitoring on Twitter, I hear you. Zeeland East defensive end Adam Berghorst. He's a junior, right? 6'7", about 250. What's the latest news for Adam?
Well, he's going to visit Michigan tomorrow. He doesn't have any offers yet, but at 6'7", 250, I don't think it's going to be too long.
Right.
Plays defensive end for Zeeland East, and they're having a great season. He's a big part of that. But he might be something else at the next level. Could play offensive tackle. I'd compare him a lot to Ryan Hayes up in Traverse City, who's committed to Michigan right now. So I could see Adam being a Big Ten level offensive tackle one day. But keep an eye on that name, because I think schools are starting to find out about him, and wouldn't surprise me if he picked up his first offer sometime in the near future. His older brother, Jonathan, signed with Central Michigan last year, and I know, Chippewas are obviously in on him. He's going to visit Indiana, I think, in a couple of weeks. There's actually some West Coast schools that have inquired about him as well. So 6'7", 250 doesn't come along too often, and this guy's a three-sport athlete as well.
Yeah. The theme for tonight's recruit report, for the most part, is the defensive end position. And that's where we're going to stick it. Bring it back to Southeast Michigan. Belleville's got a hot property in Jalen Hunt. What's up with him?
Yeah, when you talk about Belleville, a lot of people don't mention Jalen Hunt as one of the first guys. They obviously have a lot of talent on their roster, but it's time that he starts getting mentioned with the best, because the kid's outstanding. A couple weeks ago, had a chance to see them play, and at 6'3", 240 pounds, the kid broke a 96-yard touchdown run. Just has a lot of speed, and like you said, plays defensive end for them. But I think he's going to be recruited as what they call a jumbo athlete, meaning he can play defensive end. He might even be able to slide inside and play tackle at the next level. But I know some schools are at least keeping the option open of him as a big, bruising fullback or even a powered tailback kind of kid. But size and speed to spare. Iowa recently offered him. Indiana offered him. Those were his first two Big Ten offers. He already had Kentucky and Iowa State. So got a few big-time offers now for a kid that maybe the rest of the state doesn't quite know about too much yet.
Right. Yeah, I got a chance to see him against Dearborn-Fordson last week. I think he had 2 sacks, maybe 3. And he had a really nice touchdown run where he was wrapped up in the backfield and kind of spun out and scored from about 8 yards out. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I know Scotty likes him too.
Yeah, we mentioned him on our our podcast. I was about to say my blog. We mentioned him on our podcast this week, and he's a kid that I just started to hear about, and I haven't got to see in person, but I've seen on tape. And he's obviously someone you got to keep an eye out for because his upside is on the moon.
Yeah. The defensive end position continuing to dominate our conversation tonight with Scout.com's Alan True. Southfield A&T's got a 3-star in Devin Baldwin. New offers on the table for him?
Yeah, a couple schools have recently reached out. Northern Illinois came in and they offered a couple of kids in Michigan. They offered his teammate Marcus Fuqua as well. But Devin is a kid who was at Waterford Mott last year, probably around 6'3", 240 at that time. He's 6'5", 260 now. And I had a chance to see him that first game when they played Davison, and big physical guy who is playing some tight end too. And kids don't exactly want to square up and tackle him in the middle of the field. But another kid like the other two that gives you some flexibility. I mean, he plays defensive end now, but at 6'5", 260, could he play offensive line? Could he maybe slide inside and play tackle someday? But that's yet to be determined. But what we do know, big, physical, athletic kid who's definitely going to play at the Division I level. I think eventually will be a Big Ten guy. Michigan State has had him up to campus. Michigan's had him up to campus. So the big boys are keeping an eye on Devin Baldwin.
The Southfield coaching staff told me before the season to watch for Devin Baldwin to be their best player in 2 years, the best player on that roster, that's this 2017 roster. So they were real high on him before the season, and obviously Allen, he passes the eye test.
There's no doubt, and his midseason highlight came out last week, too. I think that's what Northern Illinois offered him off of, and he's still getting off the ball really well at that size. Certainly an impressive athlete.
And, that really seems to be the trend now, right, Alan, since you're following the recruiting ranks, are these guys that are multifaceted, that can slide into, linebackers
hybrid
or ends.
Positions.
Right, exactly. Those Jabril Peppers,
the guy that can play a defensive end in the rush, or he can play outside linebacker, or he can play safety like a Viper.
That's what they want.
Well, offenses are getting so multiple and getting so fast.
Right.
You have to have defensive guys who can match up with just about any personnel package. So you need some guys that can do a few different things. So you see more than ever safeties going to linebacker, linebackers going to end, ends going to tackle.
All right, and finally then, Miles McCaney, considered a defensive athlete, quote-unquote, plays his high school football at L'Anse Creuse North, a senior currently committed to Youngstown State, correct?
Yeah, he just made his decision somewhat recently. So he's going to go off and play for Bo Pelini, who obviously knows a thing or two about football. He comes up here and gets a good talent in Miles, a kid who, had some Division I offers. I think Central Michigan had offered him at one point, had a couple other schools that were interested in him. 6'4", just over 200 pounds, has played some wide receiver, has played some safety. I think he's going to end up probably being an outside linebacker at the next level, but best football still ahead of him. He's going to fill out and keep that athleticism, and I think could play a lot of things at the next level. But I think what the Penguins are looking at him as probably an outside linebacker, maybe kind of an edge defender, but a kid with a ton of length and again, versatility, maybe not as much of a hand-down guy as the three guys we talked about before, but a guy who can certainly do a lot of different things in the different defensive packages.
Right. Good to hear some guys out at Macomb, L'Anse Creuse North getting some looks and getting some opportunities to play at the next level. Very, very nice.
Alan, can I just throw in one question real quick? We were talking.
Absolutely.
We were talking on the podcast that in the class of 2018, maybe the class of 2019, we might not have those those juggernaut running back or quarterback prospects. But when we're talking about line play, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, rush ends, guys that can road graders that are clearing the way for tailbacks, we've got plenty of them. Can you kind of comment on the line prospects in the next two classes?
Oh, they're absolutely outstanding. I saw Logan Brown from East Kentwood last week. He was outstanding. I mean, I will take, if you give me the top 5 guys, in these two classes combined, I'll take an offensive line of Jalen Mayfield, Ryan Hayes, Marquand McCall, Devontae Dobbs, and Logan Brown every day of the week. And then you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, and you got the guys we just talked about. You got Aiden Hutchinson. You've got Andre Carter at Cass Tech. You've got I can go on and on with big, talented linemen. And I think colleges, are coming up here looking for that more and more. Those guys are hard to find. They can go a lot of places and find skilled talent. They come up north to find the big boys, and Michigan has been fertile ground for that.
It's a renaissance for line play in the MHSA.
And you look ahead to the class of 2020, Justin Rogers out of Oak Park is another guy that's probably going to keep carrying that torch.
He's a big boy. I saw him tonight. He sticks like a sore thumb on that offensive line. He's just he's very rotund.
That's saying something playing next to Marquand McCall.
Yeah, the two of them together are quite the bookends on the line for Team Carter.
That'll probably be three years in a row. You know, if you consider Jalen Mayfield this year, either Mayfield, McCall, or Ryan Hayes is one of those three is everybody's number one this year. Dobbs or Logan Brown next year. You got Justin Rogers in 2020, probably Damon Payne from Belleville in 2021 will give you 4 years in a row where the top prospect in the state's probably going to be a lineman.
Right on. Thanks again for joining us, Alan, for this week's Michigan Student Aid Recruit Report. Hope you get better, man. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you. That was Alan True. Once again, you can follow Alan on Twitter at Alan True, TRIEU, and you will always be in the know. Well, we kind of mentioned the podcast here, and we do one weekly. It's not always the same voices that you'll hear either. So, Jeff, where do people check out our podcast?
You can check out our podcast on statechampsnetwork.com/podcast. You can go on to soundcloud.com, search State Champs Sports. Go onto our Facebook page. We always have them posted there. Last week, we did a podcast on the two Michigan State recruits. Scott and I talked about Juan Mathis and Elijah Collins going to Michigan State. And then later in the week, we talked about some of the 6-0 teams that have already qualified for the playoffs, and some contenders and pretenders.
Yes, and we had Tom Markowski in on that podcast. Yep. He was in town, so you could check that out. All right, so it's all there. StateChampsNetwork.com/podcasts. All right, guys, the scoreboard returns in just a moment, so stick with us. We'll get to some more scores, and we'll also talk LTU football. Stick with us.
I'm in the studio with Dr. Burke.
This is the first of a 3-part series on new rule changes for the 2017 season. There may be no hit in football which generates more oohs and ahs than the blindside hit. It's also one of the most dangerous hits in the game. In keeping with putting safety first, national rules now allow blocking from the blindside only with the hands, achieving the same effect without all the contact. Here's an example of a legal blindside block. Watch the player circled in yellow peel back as the play develops to deliver a block to stand the defender up and free the quarterback. Nothing earth-shattering, but certainly effective. Now compare that to this blindside block where the defender literally loses his helmet on a pass play. Or on this punt return where the defender gets lit up. The key is that the defenseless player blocked with the hands taken out of the play, but without the unnecessary big hit. Next week, we'll talk about a rules change involving onside kicks. For more information about being a referee, just visit our website. There's always help wanted, just whistle. Welcome to our second of a 3-part series on new rule changes for the 2017 season. One of the most exciting plays in football is the onside kick, which has turned the tide around in many games. In the interest of safety, national high school rules this year have eliminated the onside kick where the ball is kicked with great force off the tee into the ground, generating a pop-up ball which creates a dangerous recovery situation. This kind of pop-up kick will immediately be blown dead by the officials and a 5-yard penalty will be assessed to the kicking team. Onside kicks that are dribbled along the ground hitting at least twice are still legal by rule. And the kicker can still pooch kick the ball straight up into the air off the tee. But the pop-up kick, which hits the ground first and bounces only once, is no longer a playable ball. Next week, we'll talk about some of the other rule changes for the 2017 season. To be a referee, go to our website. Where there's help wanted, just whistle.
My passion is architecture. I don't want to sit around passively studying. I need to create. In our architecture studios at Lawrence Tech, we collaborate with students, faculty, and professionals from around the world. And from day one, we design using the same industry standard software that architecture firms use. I really feel like I'm designing my own future here. Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Hello, my lady. I ordered 2 large Howie Mauis with butter cheese crust.
Wow, you are one serious breast cancer awareness supporter.
Warrior for love, hope, and pizza. Can't seem to reach my wallet.
Flavor fanatics love us because for every pizza purchased in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Hungry?
Howie's! Get your weekend started off right. Catch the only sports TV show fully dedicated to statewide high school football coverage. State Champs Extra Point has all the action, highlights, dramatic plays, and goal line stands from as many as 15 games per week.
WXYT FM HD Detroit, CBS radio station.
97.1 Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Give us a call at 248-539-9797 to talk to us about high school football. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. This is the show we talk high school football exclusively. You can call us 248-539-9797. We started early tonight. It was a 10 o'clock show, so we're going for another half an hour. I do want to recognize our sponsors once again. Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Simply the best fundraising program. Check it out at doughraiser.com. Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value of educational athletics. Michigan Student Aid, Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Log on to michigan.gov/MIStudentAid. And the Michigan National Guard, a proud partner and official military branch of the MHSAA. Thank you so much for your support of Michigan high school football. Time now for more Week 7 scores. We're going to go to the mid-Michigan area and bring back Danny.
In the Blue Water Area Conference, Armada blanks Algonac. I'm sorry, other way around. Algonac blanks Armada 35-0. Elmont over Yale 28-3. In the Flint Metro League, Benton is still undefeated, beating Flushing 52-35. In the Genesee Area Conference, Lake Fenton hands it to Corunna 48-0. Goodrich now 6-1. They beat Byron 36-6. In the Greater Thumb Conference, Elkton Pigeon Bay Port Laker blanks Unionville Sebewang 28-0. Sebewang.
Yep.
And then you have Cass City getting past Vassar 28-15. Harbor Beach gets their 6th win. They beat Brown City 39-22. And the Saginaw Valley League, Davison also gets their 6th win. They beat Lapeer 35-17. And the Mid-State Activities Conference, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart over Blanchard Montebella 41-6. Breckenridge hands it to Merrill 40-0. And in the Tri-Valley Conference, it's Carrollton over Alma 26-12. Saginaw Swan Valley blanks Midland Bullock Creek 45-0. Frankenmuth slides past Millington 28-22. Essexville Garber now 7-0. No, they're not. No, Essexville. No, Saginaw Newville, my bad. Now 7-0. They beat Essexville Garber 29-18. And then you have Ithaca beating Albred Elsie 51-16.
All right, let me get you some scores that we didn't get to earlier in the show. In Southeast Michigan, in the Lakes Valley Conference, we have scores now. Pontiac Notre Dame Prep is now 6-1. They're in the playoffs. They blank Kettering 17-0. It was Walled Lake Western going 6-1 now, and in the playoffs beating South Lyon East 17-10. Not dominating, but a win. Walled Lake Central and Walled Lake Northern. From what I have here, you have 24-24. Is that what you had? We had a tie? We'll have to recheck that one. Maybe if you've got the score out there, you can let us know on Facebook Live. How about in the Michigan Metro Athletic Conference? It was Holly 61-0 over University Prep Science and Math. And in the Western Wayne Conference, it was Fortson over Dearborn 31-12. Belleville over Garden City 69-0. and it was Thurston over Redford Union 42-40. We'll have highlights of that on Extra Point tomorrow. Couple scores from the UP in the Big North Conference. Alpena and Traverse City Central got together, and it was 51-26. TCC wins that one. In the Great Northern UP Conference, it was Escanaba over Gladstone, 35-14. So those are just some of the scores that we didn't get a chance to get to. Go ahead, Jeff.
Just real quick, Walled Lake Northern beat Walled Lake Central 26-24. My alma mater pulling it out.
Nice.
Shout out to the Knights.
Yep, well, there you go, 26-24. All right. So we want to let you know that this is the time of the show where we're going to welcome in the head football coach at Lawrence Tech. And you heard me right. This time next year, LTU will be playing their first football games in 70 years at the corner of Northwestern Highway and 10 Mile in Southfield. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. How you doing?
All right. We got you in a little early tonight, so.
A little bit better than last week.
Absolutely. So I'm holding the LTU football helmet here in my hands. And we're going to get Scotty to don it this week. So, but it looks great. And, you know, since it's kind of rivalry weekend and obviously college football and NFL football in full swing now, we all have our favorite teams, not just the ones that we follow as fans, but even those for you as a football coach. Maybe you respect the way they run their program, and that's why you like those teams. So let's start in the college game. We'll have some fun tonight. Who are some of your favorite programs?
Well, obviously Lawrence Tech. Got to start there, right? You know, Central Michigan is alma mater, so I love them. Michigan State, worked there, won a Big Ten championship with them, and got my master's degree from there as well. So those are some of my favorites throughout college football.
All right, so Scott's got the helmet on now. Looks great. He's ready to go. I think he got a walk on. He's got some eligibility left. So
let's sign.
Possession receiver running across the middle.
Go ahead. Say that again, Scott.
I got big hands for a possession receiver running across the middle. I'm like an old school Tom Waddle.
All right. So let's
get the smelling salts out.
Yeah, exactly. We're off the rails here. Let's move on to the NFL. You're a Flushing boy at heart. You got love for the Lions?
I love the Lions. Favorite team, though, is the Chicago Bears.
Okay, that's your favorite team. So why the Bears? Where did that love affair begin?
I started playing ball when I was 8, which was the year they won the Super Bowl, and we're doing the Super Bowl shuffle.
That's right.
Being a running back and linebacker, they had Walter Payton and Mike Singletary, and what two better guys to look up to than those?
And the fridge.
Oh, yeah. Got to love the fridge.
That's right. Handing on the ball, falling into the end zone, man. It was a spectacle and something to see. There's no doubt about it. So give us just a quick update on, how things are going, with the program. You've got guys on campus, you're well into, the school year now. How are guys adjusting? And do you feel that, you've got a really good flow? I know you guys are heavy on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, we've got 43 guys on campus. They're acclimating great. They've really grown tight together. I had some of my ex-teammates and mentors come by and talk to the team, and they were amazed to see how well they have gelled together. They were surprised it was all 43 freshmen. So that was good to hear from outside sources as well. In the recruiting trail, we've got our staff has done a great job identifying talent and fits for our program, and watched one of our guys tonight explode from Detroit King. Jalen Jackson had 5 touchdowns tonight.
Wow.
So, it's exciting to watch those guys have success on Friday, and hopefully we can bring that talent to 10 Mile.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, oh my goodness, Scott here's banging the helmet into the mic.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all right. What would you say to those out there who are hearing, maybe for the first time LTU's offering a football program, or, are really curious or really intrigued about, maybe getting an opportunity to play for you guys? What do you want to say to the kids out there right now?
Well, I think it's another great opportunity in the state of Michigan. There's several college programs throughout Michigan that offer scholarship or or don't, but give you a chance to play past the high school level. We are one of those that do offer scholarship. I think it's a great opportunity to build something from the ground up, to be a part of something extremely special, to get an excellent degree along with that opportunity. And, we'd love to hear from you. So if you're interested in playing, definitely reach out to us. We'll get a chance to check you out.
Good deal. All right, Coach Duvendeck, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks a lot, Lauren.
All right.
Have a great one.
We'll see you. All right, that is the head coach at Lawrence Tech, Jeff Duvendeck. And again, if you want to reach out to them, go to ltuathletics.com, click on the football tab, and there is kind of a link there. It's usually to the right of the page that says kind of recruit me or recruit yourself. Click on that. Just fill out the questionnaire. The coach, he's got a full coaching staff. We're going to talk about the coaching staff next week, and they'll go through that, and they'll give you a look. And again, with the way that you can create highlight videos of yourself, you can get those to them, and who knows, maybe we'll be seeing you on the field at Tennant Northwestern beginning next year. It's going to be a really unique opportunity because the kids who are going to get to play there are basically going to be the leaders of the team all 4 years. So it's like you're freshmen all 4 years. And I mean, your seniors, all 4 years. You go in as freshmen. And so that's a really cool thing. It's very historic. You're going to get a chance to be a part of something that may never happen again. So check it out, ltuathletics.com. Right now we want to go to the phone because we got a call from Saginaw, and Rob's on the line. What's up, Rob?
Hey, just wanted to give a shout-out. Saginaw Carleton tonight, Division 5 school.
Yeah.
Upset Elma, number 2 in Division 4, 26-14. And their running back went for 350 tonight. He's leading the state in rushing right now, regardless of division. He's over 1,900 yards in 7 games.
Wow, you're talking about Jalen Miles, correct?
Correct, yes.
He's about he's about 6 foot tall running back. He's made some noise in that area for some time. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's a fun kid to watch, that's for sure.
That's right.
Well, good on them.
I believe it's their first time qualifying for the playoffs in like 5 years, so it was a pretty big night for Carleton.
That is huge. So you guys are in Division 5, you said, right?
Correct.
All right. So what does the schedule look like for the rest of you guys? I mean, you guys think that you're going to go in, you're going to get a couple more wins here before the playoffs go?
Got a couple of tough – we got Freeland next week, who's a tough school up in Saginaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ithaca's 78-game win streak is on the line at home in Week 9.
Right.
And that's one that we used to play in our old conference. We want them bad.
Right.
So it'll be it's always fun to try to go after the big streak.
If nothing else, those 2 games will really kind of challenge
exactly
this team and kind of get them ready. Even if you lose those games, you're already in, and kind of give you a good barometer of where you're at going into the postseason.
Yeah, battle tested, exactly.
No, that's awesome. And people forget that Ithaca had the longest win streak in the country for a long time, but you're talking about their home win streak. That one's still intact.
They have a home win streak and they have our 78 in a row regular season.
Yep.
Okay, just in the regular season.
Yep.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yep.
Ithaca's the real deal again this year.
Yeah, right on. All right. Well, hey, Rob, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it, and giving a shout-out to your school, and Jalen Miles, of course, as well. 350 yards is no joke.
Not a bad day at the office.
All right, man. We appreciate you listening. Thanks. Okay, guys, just a reminder that we're going to wrap the scoreboard with our Around the Mitten segment next. Coming up, we're going to talk with our own Tom Markowski. He's up north, so we'll check in with him, talk high school football with the guru. Plus, we've got scores from the Lansing and lower west part of the state next on the State Champs Scoreboard.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted. Just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Lawrence Technological University is all about opportunities. You learn beyond the campus, doing real-world research for top companies and honing your skills through co-ops and internships. Apply what you learn. Be challenged. Be more. At LTU, possible is everything.
Explore your possibilities on a Lawrence Tech campus tour. Choose a blue and white day program on select Fridays or a convenient daily tour offered Mondays through Thursdays. Reserve your spot at ltu.edu. State Champs Top 5 Plays of the Week, presented by Sisu Mouthguards. More protection, less mouthguard. Par 4 fifth hole, senior Cameron Coltrane looking for the green, and she's got it. Fourth minute, senior Daniel Higgins got skills, past the defender, the shot curls past Jennings, outstretched hands, Dexter on the board. She takes advantage, and another snapper puts the biscuit in the basket. Liggett defeats Clarkston by a 5-0 final.
With the Lakers backed up to their 1-yard line, that would prove no problem as Beasley connects with Trey Mosley. He avoids 2 tackles and is off to the races. 99 yards for the score.
Now to the second overtime. Grosse Pointe North down 23-20. It's Sheldon Cage gets in for the 3-yard score, and that is your game winner as North beats South in thrilling fashion, 26-23 the final.
Sisu Mouthguards. More protection, less mouthguard. State Champs is Michigan's Emmy Award-winning high school sports show. For over a decade, 40 weeks a year, State Champs covers all sports. Catch the original high school sports show, Sundays at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and StateChampsNetwork.com. We begin in the Huron League. The Riverview Pirates traveling to Carleton Airport on homecoming. First quarter action. Riverview driving down with that good old ground and pound style. The senior Cameron Rogers, stiff arm, stays on his feet, rumbles in for the 25-yard score. Pirates up 8-0 after the successful conversion. Let's jump all the way to the fourth quarter now. Pirates holding a commanding 28-14 lead. Senior QB Tanner Jessica going play action. The same back he faked the run. He delivers the dime. Michael Four walks in. Deficit cut to 8. 20 seconds later, Jets with huge momentum. And after recovering the onside kick on the first play of the drive, the junior Stephen Deal behind the defense. 45-yard score. Fans going crazy. Game tied at 28. But the Pirates' ground game proved to be the spoiler. Rogers nixes any sign of an airport comeback.
Highlights at play.it, your new podcast network for best-in-class on-demand shows.
Welcome back to the State Champs Scoreboard. Give us a call at 248-539-9797 to talk to us about high school football. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Markowski, and Scott Bernstein.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the last segment of the Scoreboard, and Tom Markowski will be joining us in just a minute. I want to remind you the State Champs Scoreboard. This show airs every Friday night throughout the football season here on 97.1 The Ticket, a dozen other stations throughout the state. You can watch the show right now on Facebook Live. Just go to the State Champs Network Facebook page. Show generally runs from 10:30 to midnight. Red Wings or Pistons can end early or late like tonight, so sometimes we have bonus show where we start a little late, but even if we start late, you still get the full 90 minutes of the show. And I do want to tell you also that next week, Kyle Bogey, 97.1's own Kyle Bogey and former State Champs dude, is going to be hosting the show. It's going to be a special time, 9 to 10:10, so bookmark whatever you got to do, tie a piece of string around your finger, whatever you need to do to remind yourself. Scoreboard is going to be on at 9 o'clock next week. All right, time now for our last batch of scores before we get to Dom, and Danny will start with the Lansing area.
St. John's gets their fourth win, beating Charlotte 28-7. DeWitt blanks Haslett 28-0. Lansing Catholic gets past Ionia 33-18. It's Williamson handing it to Fowlerville 44-7. In the Greater Lansing Activities Conference, Vermontville Maple Valley, now 4-3, beats Perry 38-13. Lake Odessa Lakewood clinching their 6th win over Leslie 57-28. In the Big 8 Conference, it's Homer over Union City 38-24. In the Interstate 8 Athletic Conference, Battle Creek Harper Creek now 7-1, beating Coldwater 17-7. Jackson Lumen Christie gets their 6th win over Parma Western 33-14. In the Southern Central Athletic Association, Pittsford blinks Athens 24-0. In the Southwest 10 Conference, Mendon hands it to Decatur 41-0. In the Southwestern Michigan Athletic Conference, Mattawan beats Battle Creek Central 42-33. Portage Central gets their 6th win over Portage Northern 28-3. St. Joseph blinks Niles 47-0. Brother Rice gets their 4th win over Stevenson Lakeshore. They win 24-20. And in the Wolverine Conference, it's Three Rivers over Edwardsburg 21-18, and Plainwell beats Sturgis 52-9.
All right, so Brother Rice makes the trip out to Stevensville Lakeshore and gets that win. I know we had people there, and there was a big Brother Rice kind of viewing party that were streaming that game tonight. So good on them to get the win, and good on Tom Markowski for calling us on time. And just going to wrap the show with good old Tom. And what's up, my man?
Oh, another Friday night. A lot of teams making the playoffs, clinching a playoff berth.
No doubt about it. Did you go to a game tonight?
Yeah, I went to Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Yeah, they're okay. They're a D8 school that's they're looking to make the playoffs for the 30th time in their school history.
Wow.
They had a couple down seasons a few years back, but they won 41-6 over St. Ignace. A good D8 school.
Yeah.
A couple good skilled position players. Great atmosphere because it was homecoming, and these small towns are kind of neat how they do things.
There's no doubt about it. And, that really is something that us city folk need to see more often is, catching the Friday night lights, homecoming especially. That's everything to those towns, and they put so much effort into it. And you really do feel like you're a part of something when you're at something like that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the big deal in town. These small towns, they come out in droves. They probably had close to 450 people there, which is a lot for those little places.
Well, you must have been like a celebrity up there. They put you on a float.
I was incognito. I was kind of hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Just checking out things.
Gotcha. So what are your thoughts, Tom? Since we did have you on the podcast, and for those who are interested, you can listen to the State Champs Preps podcast. Go to our website, statechampsnetwork.com/podcast. You can also find it on. You can find it on SoundCloud, and you can find that by searching State Champs Sports.
Yep.
So that's where all our podcasts are. But what are your feelings right now as Week 7 is now, for the most part, in the books?
Well, first of all, I have to congratulate John Harrington on tying Al Fracassa for the state record for career victories for a coach. I think that's the big storyline tonight, and next week I think it's a slam dunk. They played Berkeley, and they'll set the record there. But one thing, getting to the Mr. Football situation,
yes.
I think it's really getting a little more clear on what's happening. Next week you'll have Muskegon playing Muskegon Mona Shores. Ladarius Jefferson's going to be really tested in that game. I think what Josh Zarnata did tonight in the big win over Flushing, a 5-1 Flushing team, mind you, it speaks volumes for his chances in that race.
Yeah, he combined for almost 600 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I mean that's video numbers, but this was a good football team they played tonight, and that's what I want to see. Personally, I want to see big game performances, and I want to see what you do against the best competition.
Right, and we have guys that really want to get into this race, and people who are certainly advocates for them getting in this race that are letting us know at a frenetic pace, and that's good. There's a lot of interest into this, but you're right. These are the games, and usually for some of the teams who may not have the strongest competition, this is about the time weeks 8 and 9 of when you've got crossovers in some situations, and you also have just games that are scheduled so that teams can have a good game before the playoffs start.
Right. When you look at some of the guys that are knocking on the door, the McCollum kid out of Waterford Mott.
Yep, had another
great numbers.
Yep,
and they're going to play Fenton the last game of the regular season. which to me is going to show me a lot about both quarterbacks there.
Right.
So there's a lot to be said. I mean, next week's Muskegon game is huge.
Yes.
And I think Max Whitwer is, in my mind, hey, the vote is there. He's going to be one of those Final Fours because of that, but he would be there anyway.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
And it gives us a chance to see what Tristan Robbins can do against a great defense like Muskegon.
Exactly. I'm interested in seeing that. I mean, I think the race is still wide open, but I think it's been narrowed to about maybe 6 candidates. Tariq Reed had a good game tonight. Davison got on the winning track again. He had 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. So, I think his name still has to be mentioned.
Yeah.
Theo Day from Divine Child has not played well recently. Divine Child won tonight. He only had 38 yards passing, and we have to, look at what he's doing in the bigger picture there. Hey, they did win, though. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I really can't think of a year where we have had this many candidates who could not only be in, we could literally have a list of 15 strong candidates, but really not having a true favorite yet.
Right.
Yeah, even though I like Max Whitwer and what he's doing, I can't put a stamp on him like you could for some other candidates in the past. So we still have to hold out on that. I mean, Max is, in my mind, definitely a Final Four candidate.
For sure.
But after that, I can't, say, well, he's definitely the guy that's going to win it.
Well, Tom Markowski, we appreciate you staying up and giving us a call there, my friend. I know you're going to be here next week with Kyle and Jeff and Scott, so we appreciate it. We'll see you then, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you. Tom Markowski. You can read all his stuff at statechampsnetwork.com. Hey, everybody, just want to remind you one more time to watch Extra Point. It is Michigan's high school football show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. And then you can watch not just football, but a bevy of high school sports action on State Champs, the original high school sports show, Sunday at 9 a.m. I want to thank Danny, Jeff, and Scott. I'm Lauren, and I won't see you next week, but they will. Scoreboard rolls on. See ya.
A recent survey about concussions found that while most high school coaches have stopped using phrases like, "you just got your bell rung," and changed their attitudes about players toughing it out through injuries, most parents have not. Nothing in school sports is more important than the welfare of the participants. Not playing time, scoring points, setting records, or winning games. Learn more about concussions at the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Lawrence Technological University is all about opportunities. You learn beyond the campus, doing real-world research for top companies and honing your skills through co-ops and internships. Apply what you learn. Be challenged. Be more. At LTU, possible is everything.
Explore your possibilities on a Lawrence Tech campus tour. Choose a blue and white day program on select Fridays or a convenient daily tour offered Mondays through Thursdays. Reserve your spot at ltu.edu.
This is Alan True from Scout with this week's State Champs Recruit Report presented by Michigan Student Aid. The Michigan State Spartans added a new commitment in their 2019 class on Saturday when Oak Park quarterback DeJuan Mathis chose to join the Spartans class. A tall, athletic prospect, Mathis is now their second commit in the 2019 class, joining another in-state prospect, Walled Lake Western offensive tackle Spencer Brown. The Spartans had many other in-state prospects up for their game against Notre Dame, and they offered a new player in the state, Flint Carmen Ainsworth junior defensive end Michael Fletcher, an athletic 6'6" prospect who now adds an offer from the Spartans to a long list of offers. Wake Forest also recently offered Fletcher. A couple other new offers extended in the state were to Walled Lake Western sophomore wide receiver Abdur Rahman Yassin. He was offered by the Central Michigan Chippewas on a visit. And then Jacob Mass, a 6'4", 200-pound senior linebacker and tight end from Livonia Franklin, was offered by Lawrence Tech. For this week's State Champs Recruit Report presented by Michigan Student Aid, I'm Alan True.
Michigan Student Aid, Michigan's go-to resource for student financial aid. Go to michigan.gov/MIStudentAid for more information. Your home for high school sports is Michigan's original high school sports show, State Champs. For over a decade, the multiple Emmy Award-winning State Champs covers all sports statewide, 40 weeks a year. Catch State Champs Sundays at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and StateChampsNetwork.com.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
It's my student aid. Okay, let's go. Okay. Time to go to college. How can I get started? Wanna gain more knowledge, but I can't pay out of pocket. Call my student aid today and we can get you on the way. If you really want it, all you gotta do is make a way. Looking for a scholarship and trying to land some grants. Visit my student